RTH session, as will the full session VWAP. So if it busts through and builds below the RTH VWAP, then you also know that you have this as continued line in the sand for trade activity, that there should be somebody responsibly entering the auction at that point. So we don't blindly dive into these. You want to gauge your tape. If price is coming down into this from above, you want to see that buy on the tape, and that's going to give you that confidence to enter that trade in order to move away again from the VWAP itself. There's one more type that's called an anchored VWAP, and that's what I'm going to show you here. And that's utilized from swing highs and swing lows. And so what I like to do is you can gauge it off something like swing high like that, swing low like that. But coming into RTH, what is the swing low? That would be this right here. And so we'll put that on. And here in red, you can see the anchored VWAP. Now this is still on the 5-minute chart. So from this, it's going to continue to build that line, and that line is going to be treated in the same way in an intraday fashion you treat a full session or an RTH session VWAP itself. And as we approach that, we get that responsive activity in multiple time frames. So this is something that on a swing high or swing low, that if we were to breach that, then that would be important to us. So what do you mean breach that? Well, if I were to
Everybody see that little triangle? Oops. Between here and here. Here's our half of the pattern. So if we can stay south, so we see if we can get a little feel here. I might have missed it, might be late. See, I'm late. Let's see if we push down here. Go down to here, too late. So, see if we can get this tail eaten here. There's 2, 3. See if we can push below. Remember, it's probabilities, probabilities. And then you manage a trade. You don't want it to go south of this, or excuse me, north of this. So we need this thing to push down. If you don't like it, then you can just close it out. There's 5 ticks, 6 ticks, right there to the bottom. Hello, y'all. How you like that? My point is, and look here, look at this, look at that. Close right to our tick, right to our level. And then that's the high of the next one. Look at that. This is how this stuff works. Just look at that. We drew.
So on this side. And you want to come out of the checking the 36?
You can see here, my first trade was a loss, and that was down 900, and I was a little discouraged there, but I thought, I just really need to stay in this. And then another trade came around where I accidentally bought instead of selling on the dome. I hit this one instead of this one, and it worked out. I made a couple $100, so that was nice. So I was back down to 750, and then right before I went to the gym, this trade here at 28.25 was pulling in a nice short. So you can see it right there. So this is basically where I went short, and it went against me just very little, but it kind of fell out of bed. So my theory behind this is that when price starts to fall, I can really start to see it on the dome. And I knew this was kind of an aggressive trade, but I also knew that we had already kind of broken market structure very short term. It'd come up and come down. I lost some money here because I was trying to go long, but it started to go short. This price action was telling me that it really wanted to move, and I wanted to be a part of that move. So I jumped in here and I thought, if it really starts to come up, then I can just jump out. But I think this thing really has room to move. And price tends to be attracted to that VWAP. So once I got in and it went up, it pushed down really nicely. I thought, okay, this thing's really going to move in earnest. So it's the theory, I guess you could call it rocket fuel. I learned that from Rob Hoffman. So it goes down really nicely and then maybe goes down a nice big push and then it might come up and then go down again. Well, I want to take it here because if I take it, say, expecting it much lower and it doesn't give me that push, it might come right back up because it's run out of fuel. And that happens all the time. So my thought is get in quickly, get out quickly if you have to. But if it really falls, stick with it. It might at least hit here. And I also had a target of going back to the open, which eventually it did hit. But you can see it went down, came back up, went down, came all the way back up to where I actually above what I had gotten in, and then finally went. So this presents a few different opportunities. I got out when I saw that second big push, or maybe third big push. The market has not today been showing me that it really wants to drop hard and fast. So I didn't want to hold this thinking that I could get 30 points out of it. I was probably 3 points away from the very bottom. So I'm very happy with that. I went to the gym after this. So I didn't really get a chance to enjoy any of this movement. But were I to stay at my desk and it comes up, hits this level. This is where I shorted previously. Looks like there's still some sellers here, so they pull some liquidity. They tries to look above, and it doesn't really gain any momentum to the upside. It actually falls. So here would have been a good short again. Here would have been a good short again. This is expecting it to actually go through the VWAP. Sometimes that can be difficult because you get stuck in VWAP jail. But again, The opportunity here is take your bite, let it come back, and if it's going to fall again, you can get better trade location, and now you can get 1, 2 trades out of it instead of just one where you're kind of like, oh God, it's going against me. Okay, now I'm finally getting my profit. So that was kind of the whole idea. And then this very last trade over here, you can see, let's see, pull this up. My last trade was right around in this area. Let's see. It's right about here is where I took the trade, right there. So that had price jumping. I took almost 2 full points out of that, but the points that were actually available were more. I probably could have gotten 4 or 5 points out of it. But again, it's late in the day. The market's not showing me that it's super weak. It's not showing me that it wants to fall super hard. So I just wanted to take a quick scalp there, and it worked out.